Yeah, okay, let's begin. My name is Elliot Stone. I'm your moderator. Today we'll be discussing the advantages of outsourcing and offshoring the medical record services. Afterwards, we'll have a brief discussion involving two of our new settlement boosting services, life care plans on a lien and medical cost projections. Immediately afterwards, there'll be a Q&A. And note there's a box on the right side of your screen that you're able to type in questions. Standard firm practice when it comes to medical record retrieval and organization has been usually to rely on support staff, attorneys, non-medical personnel, sometimes even temp agencies on large projects, occasionally independent nurse consultants, and most of these services have been paper-centric with management and storage costs. And finally, it's difficult to bill these sorts of work by staff to the file. Now, a perfect storm of sorts has taken place when it comes to outsourcing and offshoring. The practice climate has become difficult, all the time more difficult. Firms have been going paperless. You now have affordable physicians abroad, particularly in India, that do this work at a fraction of the cost of their U.S. counterparts. Staff can now be used more efficiently by using outsiders so that they can focus on dealing with clients and activities that they couldn't expense to the file regardless. First, let's start with record retrieval. Record retrieval burst onto the scene about 20, 30 years ago by companies that would do this. And a lot of people got excited, but after a while found that a lot of the work was mediocre, expensive. A lot of these companies couldn't turn around the cases any sooner than their own staff could. That has kind of changed as firms are looking to go more and more paperless, reduce their overhead, and really become more virtual. So now firms are open again to outsourcing to third parties. Some of the criteria you want to look at when it comes to retrieval obviously is pricing, turnaround time, ease of use, customer service, and ideally you'd like to work with a company that can seamlessly offer both record retrieval, organization, and case evaluation, something that we can do. One of the things to be aware of when it comes to pricing by third parties is, are they charging you a flat fee or are they charging you a base fee plus per page charges, per call charges? Those are things you really need to know up front. And here's a chart we put together showing different base fees and pricing structures for other retrieval companies out there. And as you can see, the base fees anywhere from $27.50 to $39.95, which is our fee, but most of those companies will charge a per page charge, anywhere from 10 to 25 cents a page, and also per provider call. So the numbers really can add up dramatically, and you see that on the right side of the page. Now, once records have been obtained, our physicians in India will do the summaries, chronologies, timelines, and here you can see an example. We'll typically highlight important parts of the chart that you want us to focus on. The finished product is a text-based record summary that's presented chronologically, And you can see we also bait stamp the pages. You can see the page numbers on the right side. Now, we also put in hyperlinks into the record. That's where, after we bait stamp them, we embed hyperlinks in the file so that when you click on a specific page number that you want to go to in the 2,000-page chart, for instance, you can achieve that with a simple mouse click instead of turning pages for hours. Much simpler, time-saving, and also helping to save expert fees when you send them files in this manner. We also provide bookmarks, which are basically a table of contents by provider and dates of a hospital chart. So you can see on the left side of the screen, we clicked on the ultrasound report, and that's what came up instantly. The same way you can click on doctor's orders, nursing notes, etc. We also provide medical narrative summaries, which are really flowing narratives summarizing the case from your viewpoint that can often be included as an exhibit in your demand letters to educate the adjusters. And these cost less money than the chronologies do because they're not quite as specific or detailed. We also do demand letters with ICD-10 codes. You send us a 100, 200-page auto wreck case, for instance. It'll cost us about $100 to put together one of these demand letters, and we have samples on our site. For any of you that do mass tort litigation, we do quite a bit of that. This is a sample from a transvaginal mesh case where our doctors focus on the highlights in the case and give you really just what you need. Here's what we call our mass tort matrix, where we really focus on the key parameters. This is a very efficient way to evaluate the mass tort cases. As you can see towards the top, we're looking at certain key criteria in this case. This was Fosamax litigation. So all we did was we filled in the blanks as to whether or not the key criteria were met, and then we also hyperlink in those pages to verify our findings. That's what the red arrows are pointing to. We also do plaintiff fact sheets, and our fee schedule is very gentle. For a sample 300-page chart, to have a matrix done to evaluate, it's only $100, give or take. We also do a lot of work in the nursing home area where we utilize nursing home matrices. Here is a typical pressure ulcer case where instead of us regurgitating a 2,000-page chart to you, instead we again focus on the key criteria that you see are in the gray on the top from left to right. Factors like positioning, the diet, the mattress, etc. Those are the key criteria in these cases. And what we do is we also will hyperlink in the actual pages for verification. Again, that's what the red arrows are pointing to. Our doctors also will identify missing and duplicate records and tell you why the records are important. That's becoming particularly critical with electronic medical records, where you may see 5 copies of the same records in one chart that can drive you crazy. Here we delete those unnecessary duplicates and just give you the records that you need, telling you any that are missing. Once we tell you what records are missing, we can also retrieve them for you if you'd like. Another popular service are our pain medication or pain suffering charts. That's where we try to show objective pain and suffering post-accident. And we do it in a colorful manner, like you see here, where we color code each pain med that's prescribed. The green arrow, or I should say the green line in the middle, is the date of the car accident. You can see that this plaintiff was taking some pain meds before the accident, but you can see how they spike up after the accident on the right side of that green line. The dosages of the drugs are on the left from top to bottom, so it gives a mediator, an adjuster, or a jury a very clear view of your client's pain. This only cost about $150 to create. Doctors also do preliminary medical liability and causation reports. We utilize senior specialists, general surgeons, orthopedists, neurologists, OBs, who will give you detailed opinions with medical literature supporting that, and the charge for that is $75 an hour. Many of our clients then ask us to shop that opinion informally to our testifying experts in MedQuest, which we're glad to do for free, to see if they're in agreement. These opinions typically will run anywhere between $150 to $300. We also do medical expense reports where we add up all the special damages, the medical costs like you see here. We have another service called MediWord, where we help to save you time looking up medical terms and help your understanding of the chart by putting in the definitions of the medical terms that come out once you scroll over the term itself. You see that in the red box on the left. We also provide deposition summaries, either by order or date or by topic. Those are a flat fee of $1.25 per page. The transmission of the electronic files are typically, they're HIPAA compliant. They're either done through zip, PDFs, Dropbox, or FTP. One firm even gave us access to their own server. At our facility in India, we follow all the HIPAA guidelines. We utilize biometrics at the front door before anyone can get in. And no recording devices or cell phones are allowed into the workspace. There's a simple order form that you would fill in, telling us about the case, what you want us to focus on. Typical turnaround's about 3 weeks. If you need it in under 2 weeks, we charge a 25% surcharge. And often, if need be, we can turn these around overnight. Records offshoring and outsourcing are clearly here to stay. Through them, you can better use your staff more efficiently. You can reduce some of your overhead. If paralegals or employees leave, you may not need to replace them. All of this work is a file expense, unlike staff time. The cost for utilizing MDs is minimal. And some of this saved money can be used for advertising to help you increase your caseload. In the past, successful firms often have employed large staffs and resources as a selling point to referring firms. But now I think in the future that's all going to change as firms are looking to become more virtual, to have less bodies on staff. And, we certainly would love to help you get there. We're offering a free trial up to 500 pages for first-time users as well. So I hope you take us up on that. I want to briefly discuss now 2 game-changing services we're offering to help you increase your settlements: the life care plans on a lien and also the medical cost projections. As most of you are aware, life care plans help you to maximize settlements in personal injury cases. Up till now, typically on catastrophic high 6, 7, and 8-figure cases, life care planner fees run anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000, and therefore life care plans are used very sparingly, usually on your bigger cases. Now, though, the much more common mid-range cases, your neck, back cases with continuing medical treatments, injections, possible surgery worth $200,000 or up, they've not warranted life care plans. That is until now. Now we're offering interest-free life care plans on a lien that you only pay us back at settlement. That will dramatically increase their usage and also the firm profits. Typical for life care plan viability are files that are worth at least $100,000, $200,000. The plaintiff's having some continuing medical issues, and the adjuster's offer, if any, is inadequate. Typical case sample of its use. You've got a $250,000 commercial policy. You have an automobile accident with some lingering back and neck issues. The policy's $250,000. The adjuster says, all right, I'll give you $25,000, take it or leave it. You don't have a lot to confirm the future costs at that point, so you're kind of in a bind. If you get a life care plan on that case, and let's say the plan comes in at $400,000 above the policy, potentially you may have a bad faith claim against the carrier if the jury buys into the life care plan and awards it. That alone will put pressure on the adjusters to start increasing the reserves, and ultimately you're going to be getting more money on that case with the plan than you would have without it. If you add in $50,000 to $100,000 on many of these cases that you'll get in addition, it can become very additive to your bottom line. The underwriting and funding process is simple. You apply to you fill out an application, you apply. Our underwriters determine whether the case has legs within a few days. Assuming it does, we get all the medical records from you, interview the client, speak with the treaters, and then the life care plan is prepared by the testifying planning expert who is promptly paid by the funder. The expert in no way works on contingency. Should testimony be necessary, the attorney pays the customary fee, and so nothing again is done on contingency. Upon settlement only, the funder is paid $8,500 on a non-catastrophic case, or $17,000 on a catastrophic 7, 8-figure case. If you lose again, you don't owe anything, so this is really risk-free. We also offer vocational and economist reports on a lien. Typically, they're $47.50 each. Now going to our medical cost projections, these are like baby life care plans for your $50,000 to $200,000 value cases. They're not intended for trial. They're less detailed. The medical reviews determine the future care outcomes with local associated medical and care expenses. Surgeries, therapy, meds are all included, and it's produced by the testifying life care planners. For these cases, there's a $2,000 upfront fee. This is not available yet on a lien, although that might change. And there's an additional $500 should you want, and to be sure there's an MD life care planner signing this and serving as expert. The typical turnaround time is about 3 to 4 weeks. If you need it in under 2 weeks, there's a 25% surcharge. Here's a sample of the projection. You can see here different treatments: chiropractic, PT, surgery, etc. In this case, it adds up to $194,000. So this is certainly a lot more impressive taking it to the adjuster than just saying, well, my client's going to have a lot of future medical expenses, so can you give me $150,000? This puts them on notice and let them dispute this if they want to. Okay, we're open for questions now, if there are any. All right, first question, do you also get a declaration under penalty of perjury from the custodian of records attesting that the records produced as bait stamped are all the records? Yes, we can get certifications for you as well, not a problem. Any other questions? One person's asking, can we get a copy of the slides? Yes, we're going to be sending you, everyone that attended, we're going to be sending you the presentation with the slides for your review, but also to share with colleagues who could not make this presentation. Are there any other questions? No, there are none. So, thank you again for your participation, and, we hope to hear from you soon.